So Peter, I think the biggest issue of this movement is getting the people out on the streets.
Yes.
Right? That, to me, is the essence of this. If we can't rally the people and get them out on the streets...
This is one massive communication project.
Right. So what do you think, what would you recommend as ways to do that, to effectively communicate with the people, the citizens of not only the United States, but the world? What's the most effective way to get them out here and to support this movement, do you think?
Well, that's a huge question. You can look at it from the sense of strategy, like films and live streams and all of that stuff, or you can look at it from the perception of what is the most strategic way to actually engage people's values and get them interested. So I think the latter is more important. I mean, obviously we all know the general route of communication, and we're all doing a very good job of it, I think, as well. That's why I make films. That's why I do town halls and things like that. But the strategy of communication is trying to find ways to relate to as many people as possible. The interesting thing about what's happening now, it's not just a communication project for us. It's also the recognition of the biosocial pressures that are emerging that are forcing people to actually think about their surroundings. If everyone had the white picket fence house and their little 9 to 5 and their middle class income and their 2.5 kids, very few people would even engage the political system. They would feel relatively satisfied. But because the inefficiency of this system have become so vast, everyone's beginning to wake up to something. And as the system fails, and I'm convinced that this system is failing, I think it's been failing for a long time. Sure. The very fact that 1 billion people are starving on the planet shows that it's been failing ever since the first person started starving.
Right.
So the system's in a massive downward slide on multiple levels, and the jobs are not coming back. All of these things are going to continue to present themselves, and that's where the true pressure will manifest, and that's where the value system will originate. That will create the next level of change, and the next level will hopefully move into a truly sustainable economic model.
So looking at some sort of time frame, obviously, I would say in the last 10 years, things have gotten considerably worse. Obviously, they've been moving in this direction for many, many years. What do you think the timeline is for this major shift that we all think is possible, that we feel like it's coming? What would you think the time frame would be?
I used to, about 2 years ago, it was actually a different world. I was amazed at the imbalance then. And now all of us would think to ourselves, well, the imbalance is pretty bad, but the type of values that need to change, the disassociation of all the things that continue to support this system, which is really what underlies it, really. The educational values, the need for success, material abundance, the idea that we can all have the American dream and a 50-room mansion and 2 jets parked in the front lawn. This is really the problem. It's born out of the system and reinforced. So 2 years ago, we'd say to ourselves, man, it's going to take a generation or two. But now, I'm starting to change that view. I could see severe changes happening within a decade. I could see massive governmental effects occurring where they say, okay, we're going to create mass food production systems off the coast of Los Angeles, vertical farming, run desalination from the ocean, and we're going to create an automated system that makes this free. And we're going to feed everybody in Los Angeles, forget the economic growth system for now, we'll keep maintaining it in pockets. We begin to balance and transition. And I've thought of writing, step-by-step plans to how the socioeconomic system could literally transition to a free economy using the ability of abundance we have, removing these distorted values and the scarcity that's inherent that drives the system. So that can happen very rapidly, but it's going to take a while to override, get past that first hump. But I can see something happening within 10 to 20 years. I think it's possible. Something very, very dramatic could happen.
So I'm sure you've heard a lot in the last couple of weeks about these idea of demands. Are we going to make demands? When are we going to make demands? What are those demands going to consist of? Me personally, and I think a lot of other people feel like those demands at this point in time are too premature. But the system is so corrupted at every level that making a couple specific demands will set the movement back. How do you feel about that?
That's the biggest point, and in fact, kind of why I'm here, in the sense of what this community asks for, what this community basically pushes into the public mind as far as values. Again, what the educational imperative of this community really is, that's really what we are. We're here, we obviously have to educate ourselves and continue to develop and be emergent, but we really have to push what the public needs to understand, to get them to see the problem.
Right.
But the problem has to be correctly identified, and the things that are demanded need to be as acute as possible so they can be shared by as many people as possible, not only in the country, but also across the world.
Right.
If you can get a set of unified value demands, if you will, that are so harmonious amongst the global community, then they'll have a possibility of taking hold. You have to actually go for the causality within the system and correct the causality. So the issue of foreclosures is actually a symptom of the larger cancer, the larger flaw. It's a symptom of these corporations that are simply doing their job. We want democracy. No. We want rationality.
Right.
We want people to understand the world they live in and to be able to engage it accurately, as accurately as possible.
It doesn't really matter what you call it if you have that, right? You can call it anything.
Exactly. We want to do things right. You just pointed out is really almost the nail in the coffin of this system at its fundamental. We have the ability to create abundance, and we're stopping that because of our old necessity to maintain labor for income. So what do? How do we make a new system that isn't based on labor for income? And you can see how the minds will roll with such an amazing prospect and an amazing change in our values as far as the ethic. People are given the right to life in this system, to deserve your right to live. That's an obsolete notion.
You're just sitting here and you're talking about technological unemployment. What does that mean to the average person hearing that to them in the future? What does it mean for their family and their children? And is there something to look forward to in that, or what do they think?
Well, I mean, I think they should look forward to it, but they should also recognize the problem of the system we're in now and how paralyzed it's become because of this technological scientific phenomenon clashing with the traditional non-emergent phenomenon. You know what I mean? It's emergent versus traditional, and that's been what pushes all change since the beginning of the war in history. Science and technology is what has created every form of major social change ever. And this is just another example of that. In our social system that seems permanent to us for the past thousands of years, it's going to be pushed aside as well, one way or another. So people should look at it and say, wow, I can actually be free. Let's think about that. Actually, I can actually get the sustenance of life, not have to slave over a job. Oh, by the way, it doesn't do anything, like Wall Street advertising.
Right.
And, doing things that do nothing.
Right.
Imagine using the mind when people have the time to do so. Imagine the values that they'll have when they can actually volunteer their time to do something constructive, which I think everybody wants to do.
Which is what's happening here right now. Basically, we're having people, including myself, that for the very first time in our lives, feel like we're actually doing something that's relevant and that's productive, and hopefully start to resolve some of these issues.
You're not being paid to do this.
Not at all.
No one is.
No one is.
This is the great flaw of human conduct. The market system is based on the idea that we're socially Darwinistic, that survival of the fittest, that no one can work together, it's competitive.
Right.
That's the blind assumption that's perpetuated this whole kind of thing. It's why we accept 1 billion people starving, at least a lot of people do. It's why you accept the homeless person who walks past on the street. You assume that's just the way it is. It's not. It's the way the system is manifesting itself.
So the quicker that we can let people know these issues, the quicker that this so-called revolution of thought and change, I think, will take place. So
absolutely, that's really what the revolution is. Revolution of values, revolution of association.
Well, thank you very much for coming in.